So yeah, this is candy apple mix. This is leftovers. I made this 3 days ago. So I am gonna show you how to rewarm it up and dip some more apples. I got my apples right here and I'm about to just prep them, clean off the wax. I could just dip them right now, but they're gonna be full of bubbles. Even though my children are gonna be eating these apples, it doesn't matter about the bubbles, but I still want them to be pretty just for the purposes of this video. But if you don't care about all of that, you can just dip them, just wash them off and dip them. You don't have to wait the 2 days like I'm about to do now. Okay, so let's get started. I got some Granny Smith apples. That's the apples that I always use. So this right here is my pot, and it's just tap water in here, and I'm gonna let the tap water come to a boil. These are the bubbles that you're looking for. So once it gets like that, you're gonna turn the eye off and move the pot over. I am gonna leave one of these apples out. I'm not gonna dip it in the boiling water, just so that you can see what I mean about the bubbles. So we're just gonna take all these apples. The water has cooled down. We're gonna drop all the apples in here. Alright, and then we're just going to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Make sure you swish them around. 9 and 10. And then take the apples out. Get all of that water off. These apples right here are going to sit for 2 days, at least 2 days. Okay, so I'm gonna leave those somewhere on my counter. 2 days, I'm not even gonna touch them. This apple right here, this is the one that I am gonna dip without the cleaning. This one hasn't been placed in the water, so it's gonna stay green. These apples are gonna turn brown, but this is gonna be the only green one. We are back. It's day 2. It has been exactly 48 hours, and this is how the apples look. Now, I know you guys are thinking, oh my god, those are brown. There is absolutely nothing wrong with the apples. They are still crisp in the inside, and I am gonna show you. I'm gonna cut one to show you the inside once I dip it. And just remember, the skin is brown, but that's the only thing that's brown. The apples are not mushy at all. They are very firm. It's just brown from being in the hot water. So the whole reason for us doing all that water and waiting the 48 hours is to get the wax off. So before, like this apple here, you can't see that it has any wax on it. But once you do that boiling water technique, you will see the wax has came to the top and it's all around. But once you have dipped them in the water, you will see the wax has separated. And all this white that you see, that's the wax. That is what you need to take off of the apples. And if you want to know more in depth and exactly how to clean these apples step by step, there's going to be a video at the end of this one. You're just going to click on it and you'll be able to see the cleaning process from start to finish. Now you're going to just use a damp cloth to wipe all of the apples down. Make sure you wipe them down really good. You are going to be trying to get this wax off. Some of the wax won't come off, but just wipe as best as you can and get as much off as you can. Normally I use these kind of sticks, but since me and the kids are going to be eating these candy apples, I'm just going to use the popsicle sticks. So you want to go ahead and get your mat ready. This is a silicone mat. If you don't have a silicone mat, you can just go ahead and use an aluminum pan like this. I always put my sticks into the bottom of the apple instead of the top, but if you want to do them in the top, you can. I just think the bottom helps them to be more flat, makes it sit flatter. So this is going to be the top where you peel the stem off. You can put it in there if you want, but like I said, you see how it's uneven. So I just put them in the bottom. You're ready to dip. So start warming up your candy. You're just gonna turn it on about medium. Don't turn it on high because the bottom will cook really fast and burn while your top won't cook, and you'll think that it's not done yet when really the bottom is burning. So if this is your first time, I would suggest you start on low, so around 2 or 3, because you don't want this to burn. Alright, so I'm going to use a silicone spatula. Please try and use a silicone spatula because it won't stick. Now when you first doing it, the top's going to be really hard and it's going to look like it's not going anywhere. You're going to have to wait because you will notice the sides along the edge of the circle will start to melt first. You're just going to keep pressing on that until you're able to flip this whole disc over. So I'm going to come back in about 1 or 2 minutes to see if it's ready to flip. It's been warming up for 1 minute now, and you can see I can push the spatula down underneath. So that's how you know it's going good. So just keep on letting it warm up. You won't be able to move it quite yet, but eventually you are going to need to flip this entire disc to the other side. To like this here, I'm putting my spatula underneath and I'm just flipping this entire thing over. Just flip the whole thing over. Don't miss one piece. You see here, I got the whole disc flipped over. So that's what you want to do, because you gotta make sure you're warming this up evenly. You don't want to warm up one side only. It will burn. You can burn this really easily if you aren't mixing it well. If you aren't able to flip the disc all the way over, that's totally fine. Just keep mixing it, keep moving it. Do not let the candy sit in one spot, and do not take your eyes off of it. Don't walk away. Just make sure you just keep moving it and moving it, because if it sits, it will start to burn. Just keep moving it like so. Even if it's just for a little while, do not leave it sitting there. Make sure you're constantly moving. And no, you don't need to use a thermometer this time. The thermometer is not necessary because you're just warming it up. So once the candy gets fluid and enough to dip, then you're just going to turn it off. Half of the candy is melted, but it's not quite finished. So like I said, don't stop stirring. Continue to stir. You don't want to let this candy sit. So right now, I'm just going to give it about maybe 2 more minutes. It should be ready by then. But you honestly don't have to time it. You just have to go by your eye. You have to eyeball it and just keep watching it. When the whole pot is like liquidy like that, then you're going to turn it off. I just got this little blob here that I need to melt a little more. So if you want to add a little more color, you can. You want to change the color, you can add another food coloring. It does not matter. But right now will be the time to do it. And you see it's all melted. It's all incorporated. And I'm going to turn off the eye now and get ready to dip. But this is what you're looking for. Looking for it to be all liquid and movable to where it will just drip right off. If it's dripping off like that, it's ready to dip. And I am going to be adding some flavoring. Right now you can add whatever flavoring you want to. Strawberry, lemon, cotton candy, whatever. I'm just going to be adding some vanilla. It was already vanilla in here, but I just want to add more, which I always add a whole lot of vanilla, because I just like the flavor of it. We're going to mix that vanilla in. We're going to take this off the eye. We're going to turn it off and dip these apples. And you see that? It's perfect. Liquidy. That's what you're looking for. And just like that, you're going to get your perfect bubble-free apples. And right now this candy is about what? Almost 5 days old. Stop. Alright y'all, so I'm just adding a couple drops, random all over the place drops of white food color. And I'm just going to dip. That apple. And there you go. Let that, yeah, focus it. Let that drip for a little while. Get that extra off. And then I just slide it on the bottom of the pot. There's my apple. So we're going to do this 2 more times on camera. If you want to have that marble color, you are going to have to keep adding white because eventually the streaks will go away. Alright, let me get that swirled. And just let it drip. And just let it. Alright, that's gonna be all the apples. Okay, I'm just gonna mix this white in so it can be mixed in all the way, because I want to show you what happens when you just dip the apple without cleaning the wax. So here's the apple. This is the only one that I did not clean. Stop. And yeah, there's the apples. You see the difference. This apple has bubbles all over it. And within 2 hours, this apple will start to have pinholes. You'll see these little tiny holes and the juice will start leaking out of it. That's because that apple was not cleaned and it didn't sit for the 48 hours. There's the example of the smooth one. That's the bubbly one, okay? It's okay to eat it with bubbles, it just won't be as pretty. Alright, and this is the time I'm going to cut the apple to show you. So this is the green one that I did not clean. And you see that middle? Still crisp. Turn it off. And you see this brown here? That's to let you know this is the apple that I did clean, and I'm gonna cut it just to show you that it's still crisp. Right there, you see that? The only thing that's brown is the outer edge. All around here, you cannot tell that the apple was brown. It's still just as crisp as this apple. Cleaning this pot is going to be super easy. Just fill it with water and turn it on. Let that water boil and the candy will come off. Or you can just fill it with water and leave it sitting for a few hours and the candy will come off. Candy will come. Alright y'all, those are the apples. This is the finished product, and if you guys want to know, like I said, in depth on how to do everything, there is going to be a video at the end of this one. Just click on it and watch that video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate you all, and you guys have a great day. So yeah, see you guys soon.